Hi friends, welcome to Life Skills Principles. 5-step formula, how and why people buy. Step 1, sell positive change. Step 2, understand value. Step 3, know the selling cycle. Step 4, build trust and respect. Step 5, you are the difference. In this first video, we are going to explore 5-step how and why people buy. Even the smallest transactions rely to some extent on the trust and respect between the seller and the buyer. Understanding the motivations people have for investing their money with you is the first step on the road to learning the behaviors and skills that create great business relationships. Now I introduce these 5 steps in detail. Step 1, sell positive change. Let's start not by considering what you need to do to become a great salesperson or how good your products or service need to be. Let's start by thinking about customers and the real reason why they might spend their money with you. It's often little to do with the technical excellence of your product, but because they want to change something. It has always surprised and amused me that there are so many business people out there who think selling is a science and want to find or be sold a mechanical formula which will always work. Actually, although there are indeed proven techniques and methods that you can learn, selling is much more of an art. It's about behaviors, emotions, communications, and people. Buyers are just people like you and me. If they are to be persuaded or helped to make a purchase from you, they have to feel that the result for them will be some kind of positive change in their lives or in their company's life. Let's look at a simple example and imagine that you are thinking about buying a new mobile phone. You have seen lots of the latest model in adverts, but they are expensive, and up until now you haven't been in a rush. Your current phone still works okay, so why spend more money on a new one? That new phone will have to offer something which will improve your life in some way. For example, you might want to pick up email on the move, and you can't do that today. You are not buying a phone, but the positive change in the way you can communicate. Later, we will look at how a great salesperson might have helped you to see how important that positive change is to you. Remember that in a business context, nearly all positive change will ultimately boil down to some kind of improvement in working practice. Spend a minute to think about how you can help your customers save money or earn more money. How can you save their time, effort, or resources with what you are offering? Every successful sales happens because the buyer comes to believe the product or service will make a positive impact. Step 2, understand value. It's amazing how many people think that selling is just about the product and its price. Offer something with a fancy new feature at an attractive price and it will sell itself. But that's just marketing, not selling. Value is the most important concept in selling. Let's consider some of the aspects of value in a business context. Number 1, needs. We can define need as being those drivers of positive change that will deliver the most value to the customers, because these are things the customer must have in order to achieve the important they seek. If we can understand how much the customer needs that improvement, we can work out the true value of helping them achieve it. Number 2, wants. Some drivers of positive change will be nice to have, but not completely necessary for the customer to achieve the improvement they seek. We can call these things wants. The customer will attach less value to these things. Make sure you are not selling to wants alone. Number 3, creating a value. As we will see later, our job as salespeople is to uncover needs and wants, and then to be understand how important satisfying them will be. Great salespeople know how to connect what they are selling to the impact or value it will create. Number 4, problem, pain, and opportunity. It's highly likely that a positive change is needed or wanted because the customer currently has some kind of problem or difficulty. Depending on how painful the problem are, the value of solving them will increase and our opportunity to provide a solution will develop. Number 5, value. There are 3 basic types of value. Financial value is defined in money terms. Personal value relate to the buyer one personal agenda or interest, and business value relate to the more general or strategic business aims, not necessarily quantifiable in money terms. The customer needs to see that the value of your product or service outweighs its price. Remember, if you are having difficulty trying to work out what's going to be valuable to your target customer, focus on your customer's customer. Find out what your customer need or want to improve in order to deliver value to its own customers. This will give you some clues about what change might represent value to them. Step 3. Know the selling cycle. Make a sale can be a long and complex process involving many different activities. Each of these activities belong to a phase or stage in the selling cycle, and it's important to keep track of what stage you are at with each customer. Although they might not take weeks or even hours, but just minutes, even shorts, quick sale will still follow this cycle. Number 1, suspects. These are brand new leads or opportunities which you have identified but not yet contacted. You suspect that may fit your profile of a potential customer. Number 2, prospects. These are potential customers which you have made contact perhaps by telephone and established a basis for further discussion because there is a need or want. By this stage, you have discovered a problem that you can help them with. Number 3, opportunities. At this stage, you will be working with the customer to uncover the value to them of solving their problems. You will be building your relationship and finding out more about their needs and wants. Number 4, proposing. You will have reached the stage with these customers at which you have enough information and a good enough relationship to be able to put forward your proposal. This is the part of the process which you have the chance to tell the customer about your products and why it's the right choice for them. Number 5, negotiating. Only when the customer have accepted in principle the proposal you have made will they begin to want to agree the terms on which they made by. This is the negotiating stage. Number 6, closing. Closing is the stage of selling cycle at which you seek from commitment from the customer to buy. After closing, the work hasn't finished because you will need to think about how you can repeat the cycle and find more business with your customers. That second and third sale out to become easier too because the customer now know what you can do for them. Use the selling cycle to identify your progress with potential customers. Remember, don't imagine that just because a potential customer call you and ask you how much your product or service cost, that you are already miraculously at the negotiating stage. Often this is just an expression of mild interest and means you are really only at the suspect stage with them. Step 4, build trust and respects. One of my first ever customer told me that he had never bought anything from someone he didn't like. I have seen the truth in this many times over. You need to build a customer trust and respects. The way you treat your customer will tell them whether you are someone they want to do business with you. Here are 5 important things to consider throughout the selling process. First thing, we buy from people we like. You sometimes have to make an effort to get onto the same wavelength as your customer and try to create some rapport. It doesn't mean caving into their every demand, but developing your ability to be sensitive to their responsibility, to their personality. Second thing, take an interest. The quickest way to build rapport is to stop talking about yourself and start showing some genuine interest in the other person's work, problems, and personal interests. This is sometimes called empathy. Third thing, do something surprising. Find something to say or do that will break through the natural cynicism they may have for salespeople and show them you are different. Fourth thing, be a capable friends. You will often find opportunity to bring something extra to the table, such as information, you expert advice or superior knowledge. Your customer will start to see more value in working with you. Know when to trade. You won't gain respect if you just do everything the customer demands. When you are asking for something they value, ask for something reasonable in exchange. Be open, honest, and interested in your customer to build their trust. Dale Carnegie, author of How to Friends and Influence People. When dealing with people, remember you are not dealing with creatures of logic but creatures of emotion. Now we come to last tip, step 5. You are the difference. One of the most powerful way of winning against the competition is through the relationship that you build with your customers. You and the approach you take make the difference. A good example of this is the way in which we all choose between simplifiers of very similar commodities. There might be 4 hairdressers in the town where I live, but I always go back to the same one because I enjoy the company of the chap who cut my hairs, even though he is a little more expensive than the others. You can make difference by 3 things. You are unique. Remember that your relationship with the customer is the one thing that the competition can't copy. In a close competitive contest, your behavior and approach will make the difference. Be visible. It goes without saying that if you are not making the effort to stay in regular touch with your customers and prospects, you can quickly become invisible, and perhaps the representative of another company gets the chance to exert their influence instead. This is sometimes called mind share. Find reason to call, to with it and keep yourself at the forefront of the customer's mind. Push and pull. The key to maintaining a winning relationship that make the difference in a sale is to achieve the right balance between pushing and pulling. Pushing means keep yourself visible without annoying or irritating the customer with your constant nagging. Pulling means drawing the customer into the relationship. For example, showing empathy, being curious, and adding value by being their capable friends. A relationship is based on two parties making an investment in it. Douglas Adams, English comic writer, said, "To give real service, you must add something which can't be bought or measured with money, and that is sincerity and integrity." Thanks for watching.